Emily Henry's fifth book, Great Beautiful Life, comes out today, and it's on my Kindle, and I can't wait to read it. But as I was preparing to read this one, I decided to revisit her first, Beach Read, and to think about what it is that she does as a writer that is so compelling to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of us, and if not millions. Wait until her adaptations come out, then it will definitely be millions. And I think it's that she works at three levels. She has the romance, which is the biggest part, and then she also has a family situation that's very compelling, and then there's also work. And she manages to tie all three of those strands together beautifully throughout the book. And for Beach Read, the romance is perfect in a way because she has two people who are, by definition, not going to theoretically get along, because January is a huge optimist and Goss is a huge pessimist. And they both have very different views of what the world is like and of their role in it, and very different demeanors. And that's a perfect love story, because you always wonder, how are we going to keep these people who are meant to be together apart? And if you give them these deep differences in how they approach life, then that makes sense. That's what keeps them apart. And of course, as the book progresses, we figure out that despite those differences, on the inside, at their core, they're both people who are full of love and who are creative and really want to make the world and each other better. So she actually does it. She manages to make that very difficult balance. She strikes it in such an elegant fashion. So that's number one. In terms of family, she also really nails it, because for January, she has always had this delightful, fantastic family, which is of course where all of that comes in, her optimism, her romance. She has seen her father always be by her mother as her mother is struggling with cancer, and always find happiness. And before the book begins, she realizes that her father had had an affair, and she is suddenly having to revisit her relationship with her dad, but also her own sense of what romance and optimism are, because she had based it on what feels like a lie. And that's such a great setup for this character to grow. And in Gus's sense, we get a much slower reveal. His deeply traumatic relationship with family, with an abusive father and a mother who wouldn't protect him, or he chose to stay in this very difficult relationship for her and for him. And that's what then causes him to be a pessimist. So once again, these two familial situations are very much tied to what shapes them as characters, and it puts them on a journey, because we want them both, as we all do as humans, to find a way to go beyond the pain of what their family has given them and find redemption for themselves and also for their family. And then lastly, she always ties in work so well. And in their case, they're both writers who are stuck. They're in this moment where life has bitten them up so much that they can't figure out how to write their next book. And he writes, surprise, very sort of depressing literary fiction, and she writes, again, not a shocker, romance fiction. But she doesn't believe in love anymore, and he is struggling to even come up with his new work, because he's trying to deal with very dark topics that even he can't deal with. And so then they come together, they make a bet. She's going to write a big literary book, he's going to write something romantic with a happy ending, and they switch. And in this way, she manages to both have them be the thing that keeps them from falling off into despair as writers, but she also manages to give them something that keeps them bringing them back together, because they have to come back together, because they're the only way that they can write is with each other now that they're each in each other's different genre. So there you have it. This is how she manages to bring all of those three strands together. And if you haven't read Beach Read, it's an unbelievable debut. If you've read it, it gets better the second time around. So I suggest it, and I'll be back to tell you all about Great Beautiful Life as soon as I finish it. And please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this incredible book, and how it moved you to either think or be or feel. Let me know.